come after spiritual warfare was already going on. And think about that. I mean, it's since the very beginning of time. It's been there. And so I think a lot of people, whether they're a Christian or not, they feel down in their, let's call it their gut.
Mm-hmm.
Something is not right. They can feel it. They do not feel right. They feel uneasy. They feel rattled. There's a disturbance, as it would say in Star Wars, they can feel it in the Force. Something's wrong in the Force, so you can feel it. And what they're feeling is their spirits are caught in the middle of a gigantic war that's going on, and there is massive spiritual violence happening right now. There are swords are slinging. I mean, the devil is coming at it with everything he's got, and on the other side, God, who wins this whole thing, the Lord Jesus, the Trinity, Michael, all of them are coming at him too. And what are they fighting over? I mean, why are they willing to go tooth and nail to such extremes?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want us. They both want the same thing. They want the human soul. They want the spirit of that human being. One of them wants to drag you to hell so he can take that prize away from the Creator, and the other one wants you to come where he's at because he made you, and he loves you, and he wants you to spend eternity with him. And that's the battle. We are what they're fighting over.
Why? Why do you think?
Because we're the ultimate, we're the ultimate prize. Because, God created us with a body, but that's not really us. That's just what we have to live in for a little while. Like, that's not Cap, and this is not John. This is just what we live in. So who are we? We're the spirit. We don't die,
right?
Ever, and we go live on forever somewhere. So it's interesting how God put us in these crappy little bodies, and then turned the devil loose to run wild on the earth, and gives us every possible vulnerability physically that you can imagine. And then says the only way you're going to survive it is you got to give your life to me. If you give your life to me, you give your will over to me, submit to me, turn your life over to me, I'll come in and I will help you navigate your life, and I will protect you. And when that body I put you in dies, you exit, you pass the test, you get to come be with me forever. And if you don't want to do that, that's also your decision. You have free will. I'm not going to force you to love me. I'm not going to force you to follow me. So here you go. Good luck. Oh, by the way, I've been giving word to people for the past 4,000 or 5,000 years called the Bible. I'm going to make sure you have full access to it 24/7, which is what we have.
Yeah.
And all the instructions are in there, and all the truth is in there, and all you got to do is pick it up and read it. And reach out to me anytime. I'm right here. He made it very simple, but at the same time, the other side is what a challenge for a human being to exist in these times. And I think that's what people are feeling. The unsaved people are feeling really tore up. They think it's politics. They all think it's Republicans and Democrats or race tensions, or they think it's cultural divides. They think that's why they feel so tore up.
Tell me more about that.
None of that is true.
Like, give me an example of something that people are thinking is political, but you feel like is actually spiritual.
I think when you're talking about kids, when you talk about millions, many millions of kids in the United States, just in our country, the rest of the world, there's no telling how many. Millions of kids in the United States being trafficked, being abused, physically, sexually. And then you go into the unborn children. Since 1970, whenever it was, when abortion became a massive thing and the country became legal. The last numbers I saw is we're up around 70, 80 million
Golly. Wow.
abortions, and people look at abortion as a political issue. I do not look at it as a political issue because it's not. If you want to know what he thinks about harming kids, and an unborn kid is a kid, just like a kid that's alive and is being trafficked or abused or whatever is also a kid. That horrifies people. Okay, people on both sides of the aisle, people of all different walks of life think that a kid, being abused by someone, by an adult, is maybe the worst thing you could possibly think of. And they're correct. But why is that any different than what you're doing to a kid who never even had a chance to be born? Right? That's how I look at it. So they're horrified because they can see them and touch them and talk to them, and they're physically in front of them. But if they're on the other side of about this much flesh called the mother, that's okay. So if you want to know what Jesus had to say about the mistreatment of kids, he was real simple with it.